Hey Browns fans, Nathan Zegura alongside the Hoff, Joe Thomas. It's another edition in the film room of X's and Joe's, brought to you by Microsoft. While this team certainly is not performing to the level at which we all want, sitting at 1-5, there are still some good things that we saw on tape, and hopefully, Hoff, this team can build on them. Unfortunately, you've had some experience in situations not too dissimilar to this. What do you got to do in this locker room to get this thing turned around big picture?
Yeah, it's all about your leaders, right? Your Joel Bitonio's, your Myles Garrett's, about those guys giving everybody in those locker rooms something to believe in, giving them hope, something to play for. And really, it's the trust that they've built over time with Kevin Stefanski and his coaching staff to believe that there's better things around the corner. And if we put our nose down and we go to work, we can make the improvements, the little things that we need to do to make these games competitive so that you can win in the fourth quarter.
Let's take a look at some of the things the Browns did well against the Eagles. And obviously, as we said, things that need to be built upon for more sustained success here. And we're going to start with a big chunk play to Jerry Jeudy, 35 yards here. And what I like about this, Hop, this feels a lot more traditional. Kevin Stefanski under center. We're going to get that hard play action, and we're going to get a shot play out of it. And now this is something that comes to the pre-game study. This play was won during the week. And why do I say that? I'll tell you in a second. So as we go here, we let it roll. All right, you see the safety walking down here? That's telling you that this is going to be cover 3. You're going to have a deep safety here. He's going to play a deep third. He's going to play a deep third. Why do I say that this was won during the week? You're going to notice right here the slot, Cooper DeJean, is right over Elijah Moore. The Eagles play more cover 3 seam. What does that mean? That means that if this guy, this is number 1, number 2, if number 2 runs a vertical route, that this player is going to carry him on this vertical route. So as we stop it here, you're getting Amari running, and Cooper DeJean is going with him. You have the deep 1, deep 2, deep 3, cover 3. But because of this run out, where is there going to be a void? There's going to be a void right here. And Deshaun Watson gets a nice pocket. He sees that, and he is able to rip that football out there to Jerry Jeudy. So, Hoff, you do so much preparation to get a certain look. And pre-snap, I bet before this ball snapped, they already know where this is going, and they know that it's going to be a success.
Yeah, it was really cool for me being a coach last season for the Munich Ravens, because I was on the headset listening to the communication between our guys in the box and our offensive coordinator. And when you have a play called like this, everybody in the booth is looking to see what coverage are we going to get. And as soon as you see that cover 3 seam, you know you're getting excited up in the booth. Offensive coordinator is excited because all you got to do is make an easy pitch and catch into the deep intermediate flat here, and you're going to have a huge play.
All right, and as we know, you can't have big plays without what? Without protection. So the play action is twofold in this one. Number one, what it does is you'll see, because you're trying to get Jerry Jeudy. See, he reduces down. You're trying to get these two to step forward and create that space behind him, which, as you see, they do. Jerry Jeudy does a nice job there, Hoff, right, of getting vertical. He gets chucked right there, then gets vertical and gets behind them, creating that space.
Yeah, you want those linebackers to think, if I'm Jerry Jeudy, that I'm going vertical, right? That I'm not going to be in their zone, so that they're forgetting about you, so that you can create that space between the second level defenders, who are the linebackers, and the safety, who are the third level defenders. And so when you're running under center play action, it's the best passing concepts in the NFL. It's your best ability to get chunks and down the field throws, but it starts with being able to have a good sell, right? So Deshaun Watson gives a great run fake there, puts the ball, shows the ball, and our running back is able to go downhill like he has a football, but then he catches the attention of the Eagles' weak side linebacker, and that's really important to get him to step up and to lose sight of Jerry Jeudy, who's coming from the opposite end of the field, trying to get behind him into that void. And so it's really important that you grab the attention of that weak side linebacker to be able to create that huge space around midfield for Jerry Jeudy to catch this football.
Yeah, and as you kind of see it from this angle, once again, you're looking at the fact that, not only it's Elijah Moore in the slot there working on Cooper DeJean, while he is a kind of, in this case, you would say maybe a clear out route, he does a great job. And at this point, when you're Deshaun Watson, when you see that Cooper DeJean here is running with Elijah Moore, you know that is going to be vacated, and he's able to deliver the football. And you see it from this angle even more. So pre-snap, right here. This is the walk down, and watch the shift. C.J. Gardner-Johnson comes back to the single high in the middle of the field. You know you got cover 3. And I like how Jerry Jeudy reduces his split because that's going to create some confusion. Whose responsibility is he now? Because he's not running against that deep third cornerback on the other side, and he gets past the safety, behind the linebacker, and there you see. Great job. He's running this way. He's running here. The linebacker is going to step up on Pierre Strong, and boom, that's about as easy as it gets in the National Football League.
That's an easy pitch and catch, and a little bit of love to Amari Cooper there, running the for the love of the game route, which basically means you're clearing out that corner who's got that deep third. But it's important you try to take an outside release, capture his attention. You don't want to run inside and allow him to fall off and potentially make that play on Jerry Jeudy because he's the only guy left on that side of the field.
And I liked this play a lot. You're going to get to talk a little about offensive line play. You see a pressure look right here from the Eagles, but what you also see is probably a pretty good indication, man, head up, man, that this could be a man coverage. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys down on the defensive line here. They are bringing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So what does that mean? Who's got man coverage on the running back? That's the question, right? And if you're going to run kind of this one-person screen, you're hoping to get man because then all that the lineman releasing has to do, and that lineman is going to be Joel Bitonio, is get out here and get this block. And if he does that, it's going to be a nice play. You know that this is a screen, right? You see the action, so it's going to be Joel Bitonio. That's the only guy he's got to get. Nobody else can get over there in time as Pierre leaks out this way. Deshaun does a good job rolling away from the pressure, giving himself the room to make that little throw out, and then here's Joel Bitonio. And if you are Reed Blankenship right there, the safety, you say, this is probably not a good scenario for me, right, Hoff?
This is not where he wants to be. And the Browns are just running a halfback screen here to the left. And a good halfback screen is run against man coverage, blitz, or if they're in a really super soft zone defense where everybody's going to drop deep and you got an opportunity to get out underneath those linebackers because you have enough time with the quarterback dropping deep to suck the pass rush in, to dump it off into the flat. But a great screen looks like it's almost about to be a sack. So if you look at Jed Wills here, it looks like he's getting beat, but he's trying to encourage that rush up the field because you want to get that defensive end out of the way. It's really important for that running back as he steps up into the B gap that when he releases flat and down that alley, which is between the numbers and the hash, to be able to clear out the defensive end so there's space in that area. And Joel Bitonio does a great job here. He turns away from where the screen is to start to allow that linebacker to drop a little bit, but then he's quickly getting flat, and angles are really important and landmarks are really important. So they're telling the running back, hey, get to the edge of the numbers, catch the football, and go north and south immediately, because that allows Joel Bitonio to get flat, stay behind or at the line of scrimmage so he's not a man downfield in case the ball gets thrown a little bit past the line of scrimmage, and then block inside out for our running back to catch the ball and then run right up the inside edge of the numbers. And like you said, if you're an Eagles linebacker and you see big old Joel Bitonio running out there, putting his hands on you, you are in a bad spot. And Joel finishes, said, sit down, little boy. You are no match for big Joel Bitonio. And then Joel stares at him. I love the finish right here. That's just an intimidation block in the flat. He's not going to want to see Joel the rest of the game.
Look at those eyes saying, I got you. A little hop there for a little vertical leap. Look, yeah, that's right, baby. Hop, take us in the offensive line room. This is a big one in the offensive line room. And from this angle, you really get to see how well this does. Little adjustment there from Watson, says we're going left here on the screen. But Tonio, to your point, his eyes are initially this way, allowing the free rusher, creating the lane. You got to get him up the field. Jed does that. And then Pierre's able to get up and out. And the Browns are kind of lucky right there because it felt like the rusher could have checked Pierre, could have done anything, and instead kind of gets right in his face and then tries to loop around thinking he's going to stop Watson from running. And there it is. As you see, the setup is just perfect. Joel Bitonio, talk about those landmarks, coming for the block. Pierre Strong's going to catch it, and he's just going to get north-south. And from this angle, we're going to see domination.
That's beautiful. And then he stares at him. You could tell. Joel, when you're in your 10th, 11th season in the NFL, you're usually trying to save energy every way you can on the field. But even an old man like that gets a little bit excited when you completely dominate another man on the football field because you know you're going to get that love. You're going to be getting some plus dollars in the kangaroo court when you go back to the O-line meeting room on Monday morning. It's important to make one point here. This was a great call by the Browns, and this play was also won during the week because you can see at the beginning, Deshaun Watson's putting his arms out like an airplane and waving his hands, and you see the guys on the offensive line, you see the tight end. He's giving that alert as well because, like I talked about earlier, if you're going to run a screen, you want man coverage or you want a really super soft zone. And so they see the pressure look, they see the man coverage, they audible to the halfback screen. So everybody's on the same page and they're getting a screen. You can see Deshaun Watson, he's audibling to the screen because they get the pressure look that they want and they know that they're going to get man coverage. And that's allowing Joel Bitonio to get out there one-on-one in space and gives our running back, Pierre Strong Jr., an opportunity to catch the football and then run and make the first down.
Speaking of unbelievable things and Superman-type powers, Myles Garrett, the ability to leap the line of scrimmage in a single bound, this is incredible. So here he is right here, and what I think is so great about this play, now you can push down, you can't fall on, but it's going to take Dalvin Tomlinson right here, Shelby Harris right here to get hands on and push down so that Myles Garrett is able to go over the top here and get this block. So let's take a look at it as it unfolds.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. There's about one human being that walks the face of the earth that can stand there in front of a right guard and field goal protection and from a standstill jump completely over him without touching him, might I add, and to be able to jump on a second reaction, get his hands up high enough to block the field goal. And I think it's really important to notice, if you line up more than 1 yard from line of scrimmage, you can't leap over the field goal block protection, right? If you line up on the line of scrimmage, you can leap, but you can't use leverage. So you can't put your hands on the blocking offensive lineman at all. You can't touch them at all. So it's really important because it's a 15-yard penalty. If you jump and they're able to get their hands on you and you fall or there's any contact that's made as you're trying to jump and leap, it's considered leverage, and that's a 15-yard penalty. So pretty significant penalty in that situation in the game. So you got to be careful. You can't just do this every single week. You got to hold it back. We saw Myles do it last year against the Indianapolis Colts with similar success. And let's talk about Rodney McLeod here. So when you have this call on, right, it's a full team effort. You're not running the guys around the edge like you normally do to try to skin and to try to block from the edge. What those guys are doing is they're watching the kick, and they're the scoop and score guys. So their eyes are on the football trying to see, all right, if it gets blocked, where's it going to go? And now it's my job to find that football, to track it, pick it up with two hands, and run all the way into the end zone, which is exactly what they do.
And the great part about this, Mahmoud Diabate right here told Rodney McLeod before this play, said, you're scoring on this one. Myles blocks it out there. Rodney goes and picks it up. And who's going to get the big block? Mahmoud Diabate leading the charge there. Finally with the final block here. And Rodney McLeod does the rest for his second touchdown of the year with a somersault in for a little bit of style points as well. From this angle, it is just incredible to watch. Myles Garrett, the leap, push from Dalvin, push from Shelby. Watch how quickly Dalvin gets his hands off because that's what they're looking for. Boom, his hands are off by the time the ball's blocked. Myles right over the top, block. Rodney McLeod, as you mentioned, eyes there. Tony Brown, eyes here. And then he sees it, he turns, he goes and gets it, and everybody else says, all right, we got to get ahead of you, and we got to do some blocking here. And there we go, Diabate. Boom, see you later. Touchdown, Browns. So there was a lot of good in this game. And for the second time in 3 weeks, the Browns defense or special teams produced a touchdown. But Hoff, this offense has got to get it going, and it needs to start this Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals, who we know can score points. What's the one thing that this offense must do better to have a better outcome Sunday?
Under center, zone running, because that's the staple of Kevin Stefanski. We saw how important that is, setting up the play action and some of those easy, wide open chunk plays. And I think with the addition of Jack Conklin coming back from injury last week, you saw in the second half, the Browns are able to now run the football more efficiently under center, and that'll set up everything else that they want to do on offense.
For the Hoff, Joe Thomas, I'm Nathan Zegura, thanking you for joining us in the film room for another edition of X's and Joe's, brought to you by Microsoft.